Hi, my name is Dan, and this is Engelgeist. Thank you for tuning into my channel. For those of you that are new, please hit the subscribe button, and if you do hit the subscribe button, make sure to hit the bell so that you're notified anytime I do a reading or when I upload a new video. And for those of you that are old, and I don't mean that in age, but just as far as my regular viewers, thank you very much for tuning back in. I really appreciate it. This is your Sunday reading, Sunday, November 10th. For the week of Sunday, November 10th through the 16th. These are being pre-taped. Normally I do these forecasts for the collective live, but I will be traveling and studying during this week. So this week will be pre-taped and released each morning at 8 a.m. There will be no charm live events this week on Wednesday or Friday at 7:30 Central. Normally I do those live events via YouTube and Facebook via my business page, but unfortunately this week I won't be able to do that. So I'm letting you guys know that now. So let's just get into the reading. Again, please like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate any support. But let me start to shuffle the decks and get the energy settled. The deck that I'm working with this month is, as far as my tarot deck, is Jillian C. Wild's Naked Heart Tarot. It's absolutely beautiful. You can find it. I bought mine through Amazon. There's a link in the unboxing video on my channel. You can find it there. And you can follow her on Instagram at Jillian C. Wild. And it's spelled JILLIANCWILDE. It's really a beautiful deck. I'm still learning the deck a little bit, just sort of I'm using my own intuition with it. So she has beautiful descriptions for each of the cards in her book that she's created, and but I'm kind of off-roading it, so to speak. So this forecast here is not only for the day today, Sunday the 10th, but also it's sort of the underpinning energy for the entirety of the week. So this, each card is to represent maybe a day or two for each of us. Some of us might only experience one of these cards throughout the entire week. Some of us might experience all of them and then some. So it's really dependent on what resonates for you and what makes sense to you. You can basically take what you like and sort of leave the rest, as they say. So keep that in mind. It is a forecast for... the intention is set that it's a forecast for everyone that tunes in both now and into the future. I believe Spirit can pull that off without a problem. Okay? So we're going to look at 3 cards from Jillian Wild's Naked Heart Tarot to start off. So the beginning part of the week kicks us off with Skyfather. Ah! Wow. Well, there we go. Skyfather has made his presence known. Hello, Skyfather. Let me put him up a little bit higher. Wow, that was kind of funny. I think this is like the Emperor, I'm assuming. Let me double check that, just because I want to make sure. It is. It is the Divine Masculine is how she lists it. So... loyalty, leadership, and confidence is what she's, those are the 3 words that she uses for this. When I look at this, I think it's a beautiful card. The first thing that I think of when I think of the Emperor is sort of how the Emperor is kind of like, he's a fair-minded ruler. That's sort of maybe the confidence that she sees in this card. When I think about the Emperor, like I look at this hair and I think, okay, so we have wisdom, we have this beard, we have knowledge both of the universe and of, our own connection to the universe and our own connection to ourselves. And we've taken our experiences and we've sort of assimilated them into this sort of awareness and knowledge that is very deep and profound for us. And I think that we can tap into that well in the beginning part of the week, and that awareness and sort of utilize it to our benefit and to the benefit of others. This is definitely a strong sort of masculine energy, but it's a very fair and I would say firm but loving energy, right? There's no sort of shortcuts taken with the Emperor card as far as I'm concerned. And I think that Skyfather, in my idea, when I think of Skyfather, he's sort of vast, you know, he contains not only, you know, within him sort of this knowledge, but it's also part of the knowledge of the universe. I love how this, in the art here, it sort of bleeds out past the hair and kind of spreads out. This is the symbol for Aries here, and then I'm not sure what what this symbol is down here, but it's a planetary symbol. I know that. Is it? I'm not sure, but I can't think of what planetary symbol that is. But what planet rules Aries? Is that Mars? No, I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I'm a little scattered. I've just been running around trying to get ready for this trip. But Skyfather says to me that in the beginning of the week, use your knowledge, operate from a place of authority, authenticity, and awareness, and trust your awareness, trust your knowledge, trust what you know to be true, trust your connection to spirit and to the universe, and just sort of move forward with that. You have the experience. I keep getting pulled into these locks of hair and this beard. You have the experience and the awareness. You wear the crown. You have the authority. You have the benevolence, right, to be able to do this correctly and to move forward through this week, at least in the early part of the week, with an air of confidence and with an air of firm love, I want to say, because to me this is, I know she calls it Skyfather, but I do feel like the Emperor is a very fatherly like figure. He's kind of like that sort of loving father, but you know, you kind of have to follow his rules to attain his love or to get his gifts. And that's what I feel like with Skyfather is he's a benevolent card, but you have to sort of be fair, follow the rules, do the right thing, call upon your own inner knowledge and act from your own moral compass. And if you do those things in a way that is fundamentally true to you, you're going to be able to act from a place of authority, from a place that people will appreciate, from a place that people will trust and will honor. And so we'll be able to give support to others and to ourselves in a very profound way, I think, in the early part of the week. Now, the second card, wow, is the Lovers. Hello, hello. So I love this. We have two eagles here, and I love how their necks make that heart in the center. And this is, I think, the symbol, she's kind of using the alchemical symbol, or this thing is the symbol of air, I believe, but it is two major arcana cards. I also like that there's two branches here that they sit upon. One sort of shields them in one way, and the other sort of supports them. And they come together and they sort of use their similarities or their synchronicities, that I don't know where they relate to one another. They meet on that level and they kind of connect on that level by midweek. So we might find ourselves not only finding somebody, like this could be a very traditional meaning in the sense that some of us might meet somebody we're interested in. We might attract that attention because we're acting from this place of Skyfather at the beginning of the week. We might actually attract the attention of somebody significant or somebody that is our equal, that we maybe were, I don't know, possibly not seeing coming. And then for others, this could just be familial or friendship-based relationships that become stronger or more deepened, right? Where we understand the value of those around us and we deepen that love for them, right? To me, the Lover's card is always not necessarily about, it's certainly definitely indicative of romantic love, but it doesn't always have to be about romance. And it can be about the deepening and the appreciation of love for people in our family or friends or I don't know. I wouldn't say coworkers per se because that's a little deep love. But who knows? Maybe you've got a really funny coworker that's a great dancer, and maybe you're starting to go like, "Hey, they're cool." The other thing I want to say is I like that it's represented by the eagles. The eagles represent freedom to me, you know, from a very American perspective, right? But also there's this sort of you know, when you think of the phrase eagle eye, there's a precision and an awareness that the eagles have, that they're able to see one another. I feel like these two see each other for what they are as equals and come together and appreciate what they are, find the similarities rather than the differences, and bring those together in strength and in union and sort of come together. So if you find yourself, this could be a nice card where you're just sort of in love with life by midweek, like feeling good, riding high, seeing how things are working out in your favor and enjoying that, and really appreciating your environment, falling in love with your environment. It doesn't have to necessarily be a particular person. It can be within the experiences that you're having. I also want to say that this feels sort of like a big week because we have 2 major arcana cards at play here. So let's see what our third card is for the week's end. The week's end is the Spirit of Swords. Look at that. So the Spirit of Swords, I believe, is that the King of Swords? Let me double check this. Just want to make sure so I'm not messing this up. It is the King of Swords. So I love how he's sort of peeking out at the end of the week. This jaguar, to me, jaguars definitely speak to sort of like magic, especially shamanic healing and that sort of thing. And I love that he's peeking out. Are these flowers, or are they sort of look like dragonflies to me? The symbol for Aquarius is up in here, but these look like dragonflies, and dragonflies is definitely the symbol of spirit. I love that this is sort of like the melding of the intellect and the spirit, and when I look at the Sky Father and then the spirit of the lovers, I feel like the melding of these two becomes this. Does that make sense? Where we have this sort of deep ancient knowledge in the jaguar, this sort of how do I want to explain this? Like shamanic awareness, and swords deals with air, right? The element of air and the intellect. And to me, this feels like the blending of not only spirit, but the spirit with our intellect. Like really starting to assimilate where spirit fits into our connection with our intellectual or mind self and how that works. Falling in love, like maybe those two components, maybe this Lover's card is us falling in love with ourselves to some level, right? Because birds also definitely represent an element of spirit and air, which I see with this sword element, right? So if we take this Lovers, these two birds that are sort of working together, and they are on branches which would be considered wands, right? In this deck, these are similar to wands. It feels as though we sort of meld the two, and the two blend very nicely by week's end and become sort of intellect, magic, and spirit all kind of working together. This jaguar is protected. It's aware of who it is. It lives in the present moment. It's sort of a fierce and stealthy animal. So to me, I feel like by week's end, we will feel very satisfied with where we're at, and very connected to spirit in such a way that, I mean, I'm not sure if these are dragonflies. For some of these are looking like dragonflies to me, and some of them are looking like butterflies. So there is also that element of the possibility of transformation happening within here. I feel like almost like transformative spirit happening in here. And so to me, when I look at this, we're going to be very empowered, very aware, and much more. This jaguar is very wise, right? He is sort of intellectually wise, and he takes his spiritual wisdom and he adds it to the intellect that he already possesses. And from that, he is able to sort of access a magic or an awareness, an understanding, a healing, something that's, you know, the jaguar kind of moves between worlds, right? The spirit of jaguar moves between worlds. And so I feel like that's what this card is telling me. That some of us, maybe not all of us, but some of us might be moving between the world here, the world of intellect and thought here, and bringing it through, or bringing spirit through also. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, guys. I'm just going to leave that there with you. Let me get to the next deck. The next deck is the Roots and Wings Oracle deck by Kat Riles, and you can follow her at River and Roots on Instagram. And this is just another card to sort of tie in for the week for the 10th through the 16th of November 2019. Just to sort of add further clarification to what this week is about for us. To me, this feels like a melding of two components of ourselves. The Emperor is more about sort of that intellectual thought and connecting that thought into spirit. The Lovers is the settling of that information as I'm looking at this. And then the Spirit of Swords is really sort of the application of that, or the ownership of that, and really owning it from a position of power and beauty, like inner strength. And let's see. Wow, we have the Death card. Interesting. So, the Death card, I'm not sure what Kat... Let me look at her definition for the Death card. To me, death is never about death. It's about transformation. It's about sort of the letting go of one cycle and moving into another. It's something that we all have to face. It's something that we all have to deal with, right? But, okay, so in her descriptions, it says not to be feared. This is about closure, putting something or someone to rest in your life, a big change and shift, letting go of what is holding you back. I kind of see that in these cards behind her, right? From the Naked Heart Tarot. It's about falling in love with ourselves. It's about accepting ourselves from a place of our own spiritual knowledge and awareness, and really adapting that and understanding it and loving it and connecting to it, sharing that with others and doing it from a place of spiritual power. There's a death that's going to take place, I feel like, because we are sort of letting go of some things that no longer serve us. Old sort of ideas, thoughts, patterns, things that just aren't working for us anymore. They're not like attributing to our growth. And because of that, it's time to sort of be purged of them before the year's end, before we enter into 2020. So this is a really wonderful time to reflect, introspect, and sort of decide what still serves you and what no longer serves you. And then just let it go with like a beauty and a permanence like death, right? Death has you can deal with death from a place of fear and sort of resistance, or you can deal with the idea or the concept of death from a place of grace and sort of leaning into it, right? And allowing it to take you and having it teach you, right? Or grow you in a way. And that's what I feel like this card is. I feel like that's what all of these cards are. Sorry, I'm putting last week's stones back in the bag. So let me go deep into the bag for the grounding stone for further clarification for this week. This feels like this is going to be a rather profound week, guys. I have a feeling there's going to be some stuff that's going to need to be let go of, and there's going to be some stuff that might surprise you by week's end. So the stone that we get is actually a very tiny stone, and it's in there, and it's on rose quartz, which I love. Rose quartz is definitely associated with the heart chakra, with the idea of love. This heart here is rose quartz. It sits on my desk. This stone, I don't know if you can see it very well because this tripod is kind of high, but the stone is harmony. And so this is the underpinning energy of the week, guys. The underpinning energy of the week is that we are going to be adapting and learning our sort of who we are, what we love about ourselves, adapting that, and really owning that by week's end, and allowing the things that we don't need to let go, all in the pursuit of sort of a love-based harmony, maybe just solely within ourselves, but as we find that within ourselves, we're able to harmonize with the environment around us. From that harmonization, we are able to kind of create the life that we want, or have the experiences that are best suited to us or for our highest good, and we can trust that. We can move forward in that trust, in harmony with that trust, right? And really own it and allow this sort of letting go, this death card, whatever we need to let go and leave in the past, we can do that this week. It can be a very profound week, I promise. Do it from a place of love. Do it with the idea of harmony in your mind. And I want to hear in the comments how your guys' week goes, okay? Thank you and so much for tuning in. Don't forget to please do your breath work, and I will be live next Saturday. I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Have a great week. It's going to be profound, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.